Hello, how are you? We're back, okay? Today we are going to start with Unit 2 and we're still working with these living things, okay? Today we are going to work on the variety of living things. As you know, there are 5 different kingdoms in the living things and we are going to study 2. First, we're going to see the plants kingdom, okay? Here we are, the plant kingdom. Several facts about this plant kingdom. They make their own food through a process called photosynthesis. You should know this, but we can't see it. The process of photosynthesis is this. The plant receives sunlight, carbon dioxide, water and minerals. Water and minerals through the root, and carbon dioxide and sunlight through the leaves, okay? And they do a process, with the organelles called chloroplasts that we have studied. Do you remember that? Yes. And they expel something that is very useful for us. We breathe. The air we breathe is composed mainly by oxygen, and when they do the photosynthesis, they expel oxygen. So it's very important for us to take care of these plants in our planet, okay? Very important, it's crucial. So this is how they make their own food. And it says plants are multicellular living things. All the living things in the plant kingdom are multicellular, are formed by more than one cell, okay? Very good. They cannot move because their roots are fixed to the ground. Some of them can move a little bit, just like the sunflower, okay? They can move trying to look at the sun and everything, but it's not normal, okay? And plants can be divided into 2, flowering plants and non-flowering plants. What does it mean? Very easy. Flowering plants are those that have flowers. Here we can see the rose bush, okay, with these red roses, very nice, and the cherry tree, the tree where you take the cherries, okay, and these when they blossom, it's great. It's very, very, very nice. And in the other side, we've got non-flowering plants, okay, plants that do not have flowers. The pine tree, el pino, is one of the non-flowering plants, and ferns, these helechos, are very common in the north of Spain, and they don't have plants, okay? And this is all we need to know about the plant kingdom, okay? I think it's quite easy. Now, we are moving on, and we are going to the animal kingdom, okay? The animal kingdom, very easy because we are animals. We belong to this kingdom. So they are multicellular living things. We are multicellular living things. All the animals have more than one cell. All of us are multicellular, okay? And we or they eat other living things. All of us, all the animals eat other living things. And related to this, we can distinguish, depending on what the animals eat, can be herbivores, okay, that they eat just plants, that kangaroo, here you can see a kangaroo, the rabbit, the giraffe, I bet you know thousands of them, but they are herbivores because they only eat plants. And on the other side, we've got carnivores, animals that eat meat, eat other animals. We've got the seal, the hyena here, and the meerkat. Look, they are carnivores, okay? And among them, we've got the third group that are those animals that eat plants and meat. So they eat both things, and they are omnivores. We have here 3 examples: the badger, okay, el tejón, the spider. Lots of people consider that spider is carnivore, but there are lots of species, lots of types of spider that are omnivores, okay? And pigs, this little piglet eats everything you give to them. So, and these are the division or the classification of animals depending on what they eat: herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, okay? Very easy. And now we can see here there are vertebrate and invertebrate animals. You know it, you have studied them thousands of times. We are going to review it a little bit. Okay, the mammals we can find 5 groups, as you know, of vertebrate animals. We can find mammals like the bear, the dogs, ourselves, lots of them. Birds, as a toucan here, you know, thousands of birds, the eagle, lots of them. Fish, like this trout, una trucha, okay? Lots of fish, you know, they live underwater. Amphibians are, this is an example, the salamander are animals that can live both in water and on land, okay? That's why they call amphibians, okay? And reptiles, reptiles, you know, as this python, okay? Como esta pitón. And these are the different groups of vertebrate animals. And on the other side, there are the invertebrates, animals that don't have bones, no skeleton. There are lots of types, and these are the main types, okay? Main types that we have studied. The arthropods, you know, there are lots of types of arthropods, but this is one example, just the crab, el cangrejo, the mollusks, as the snail, there are lots of them, different in water, on land, lots of them. The worms, like this, the earthworm, este gusano de tierra, esta lombriz, and the echinoderms, that are this type of starfish. They usually live underwater. They're very specific type of invertebrate, and these coelenterate that as the sponge, okay? Very different types of invertebrate animals. We don't really need to know all of them, but we need to know the difference between vertebrate and invertebrate, okay? That's all. And I think that's all we need to know about the animal kingdom, okay? So you can revise this video and study over the weekend, so you know this perfectly for Monday, okay? So that's all. I hope you liked it, and see you next class, okay? Bye bye. See you.